hard to believe that it's only been a few months since this. And now, a new procession of protesters is on its way to the capital. The 3-week-long demonstration at Parliament in February was originally meant to be about COVID-19 vaccine mandates, but soon it was about much, much more than that. In the so-called Freedom Village, anti-mandators could now swap notes with full-blown anti-vaxxers, Trump supporters and literal tinfoil hat wearers.
So at the more moderate end, there were people who may be vaccinated and just opposed the mandates. And then at the more extreme end, there were people who believed not only was the vaccine harmful, but it was deliberately so.
While that protest was characterised by a lack of focus and leadership, this one is being visibly led by Brian Tamaki. He's in charge of the Freedom and Rights Coalition, and their plan is to hold a mock trial, accusing the government of crimes against humanity. The group says the protest will be peaceful, but some are concerned it could be hijacked.
There's a growing group of people in society who really believe that the government is deliberately causing them harm, and those people may start to believe that acts of violence against the government or against politicians or journalists may be justified because of that.
Authorities in Wellington have learnt from last time and are on high alert. But with the city already dealing with natural threats, will they be stretched too thin to prevent another dumpster fire? Well, to answer that, we will speak with Wellington's Mayor Andy Foster in just a moment. But first, Isabel Ewing is standing by. Isabel Ewing, Newshub reporter. Izzy, you were there last time. Are things feeling a little bit different this time?
Honestly, Kanoa, it's like the pendulum has swung from being not prepared at all to being so intensely over-prepared that there's this kind of sense of foreboding for those of us that were here last time, because it's kind of triggering to see these barriers up around the place. We've got these green barriers that are filled with water, these plastic ones that are sort of stretching all the way along the front of Parliament. We've got those big concrete barriers that you saw last time out on the roads. Molesworth Street, the access to that's blocked to stop anyone driving in there and parking like they did last time. And there's blackout curtains all the way along the bottom of the Beehive and along the bridge where politicians walk across to the House. So there's seriously a ramped up effort this time. It's quite remarkable.
Well, Isabel, hopefully you stay safe and things go smoothly. Thanks for your time.
Thanks.
And we're joined now by Wellington's Mayor, Andy Foster. Now, Mayor Foster, please tell us that you and the authorities are smarter than these guys and that we're not going to be embarrassed for weeks again like we were last time.
Yeah, look, Paddy, we're really well planned and prepared for this. The police have got good intel on what's likely to happen, and we're expecting things to go smoothly. If anybody steps out of line, the plans are there to be able to deal with that and deal with it pretty quickly.
I've got to say, Andy, in Wellington, you've got enough problems at the moment. Crumbling infrastructure, transport gridlock. Last time I looked, over 600 landslides to clean up. Do you have the resources to deal with this extra thing arriving on your doorstep tomorrow?
Yeah, absolutely we do, and the police have got very good intel on what's going on. They've already prepared barriers to make sure that we don't have vehicles in the places that we don't want them, and that people don't get into the parts of the parliamentary grounds they don't want them to get into. We've got our guys ready to support them in terms of parking and towing resources. So everything's in place if it is needed to be implemented, and if people step out of line.
And if any of those protesters in Wellington tomorrow decide to help out the local community by maybe cleaning up some of those landslides, they should just get in touch with your office, should they, Andy?
Look, we could do with a few people to put on some orange vests and get some shovels out and do some work there. Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Andy, do you have a message for Brian Tamaki tonight?
Oh, look, I think the message is, look, you've got a point to make. You go and make the point, but make it with respect to the rest of the community. I mean, people had enough of what happened in February and March. We don't want to see any repeat of that. We want people you have the right to protest and to make a point, but you also have a responsibility to make sure you don't adversely affect other people and upset people, and that's not in your best interests either.
Mm-hmm. Mayor Andy Foster, thanks so much for your time tonight. Kia ora, welcome along to the project. You've already seen him. It's Monday night and Paddy Gower is here. And representing Wellington tonight as well, Paddy.
Yeah, and I guess the Mayor was asked if he had a message for Brian Tamaki, and it was pretty wishy-washy, to be honest. I've got my own. Brian Tamaki, stay away. Keep your people away. You vandalised Parliament last time. They burnt down a playground. People threw bricks at the police that are meant to keep us safe. Please stay away.
Can I say, you know, this is an easy group to mock and to despise, frankly, but they haven't done anything wrong yet. People are allowed to protest in New Zealand. We encourage people to protest. If you disagree with something the government's done, you're allowed to show up at Parliament and say so, right?
Yeah, and totally. I mean, I worked in Parliament for 10 years. I used to go out and see the protesters all the time, and there's a place for it. But this particular protest have wasted their chance at it, Jesse. They had a chance, they wasted it, they showed that they are vandals. Not all of them, but they showed that they are vandals, and they should not be allowed back. They're not welcome.
And to your point, Jesse, I would say that threats of violence, which are coming from people related to this group, that is doing something wrong. So hopefully, fingers crossed, none of it will come to fruition.
And I call them vandals. You know, it's not just what they did to the playground, it's what they do with information as well. They're vandals with information, and that makes them even more dangerous than what they do with bricks at cops.
Tomorrow will be an interesting news day, and there's also going to be a counter-protest due to arrive at the same time. So, of course, we'll be covering it on The Project and on Newshub tomorrow night.